Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Welcome to True Crime Real Time, y'all. This is we have a little audio issue. I blame StreamYard.
Yeah, I blame
Yeah,
me.
yeah, and Eric, and I also blame Eric.
So who do we got here? Get to Duckin. How are you? Mr.
But we got
Mandela, how are you?
hi, y'all. we we I do appreciate that you're here with us. We were a little bit late, but today has been so wild, and I honestly was the whole time, even getting to right now, we're still getting stuff. Like
Yeah.
there's still new things are coming out all day today. And I'm like, today's blowing my mind. The fact that we got the 911 call from Idaho is still just insane, right?
Yeah.
Um, I was telling Eric today that I was kind of excited because we had talked about when we first started met and when we first started talking true crime. There you are, Ducky. We were talking about we talked about how that Kansas City 3 thing happened, and everybody's kind of like, "What do you think happened to those guys?" Man, I do not know. 3 guys froze in the backyard. Let's see what happens with toxicology. How the other guys stay inside, and it turns out that they arrested 2 people. It has been almost a year, right? That was a Super Bowl
It's
last year. It was over.
January January 9th I have written down,
Yeah,
I
it
think.
was
Yeah.
over a year because it was
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was it was that oh yeah it wasn't a Super Bowl party.
It was a playoff game. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a playoff game, right? So, and it was wild, right? What did you
Yeah.
think happened to them when it happened?
I thought I thought they OD'd. Like, I didn't know how it happened. Like, I didn't. 3 of them, too. One guy didn't. I don't know. I just thought it was odd. And then they froze, too, because they were incapacitated and they were out in the cold and they were like frozen. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
Ducky
know,
thought it was closed also. I did too because, they made it seem like, and this could just be me, when they were talking about it in the news, it made it seem like that they didn't suspect the homeowner guy who was like somehow asleep and not calling 911 with frozen people in his backyard. Like they didn't suspect him at all. And now today we're like, nope, they suspected him. They probably knew it was him the whole time.
he was a chemist.
I don't do you think
He
he
was
was
a
really a chemist? I
Yeah.
mean,
He has a whole what do
there
they
was
call it when like a doctor writes a thing up and they publish it? He has one of those.
he can write prescriptions.
No, no, he has like what do they call it when like a doctor writes up a whole like a report like on something like
Okay, I know what you mean. Gotcha.
I can't think of it.
I know. I'm like, well, now you're asking me. I'm on crime head mode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Ducky thought it was drug related too. I did kind of. I was like kind of thinking like, what if these guys were partying and they didn't know. They hold on, Quincy needs to go outside. Like somebody gave them something and they didn't know, or they mixed things and they didn't know, or whatever was going on. But turns out they got some bad drugs, huh?
yeah, and because it was 3 of them, I didn't think it was like I didn't think they froze. I mean, I know they froze to death, but I don't think all 3 at the same time is like hard. You had to be doing something.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was thinking maybe so they thought they were doing cocaine and then they accidentally did ketamine and they couldn't
Oh,
move.
well, I got
Like
the
they
story.
stuck in place.
You're pretty damn close with that.
Yeah. Because I was like, that's probably like, you know, more likely. Like that seemed to me real likely a bad batch. But yeah, Ducky, and I think it had fentanyl. I have the. You guys want to watch the?
Oh yeah, I have all the facts written down, but we can watch it.
Yeah, let's watch. I liked watching because they have the officer or the sheriff or whoever comes to talk about it. I was like, oh my gosh, this much later, and it like, how else would those guys have died?
And he's bragging about it.
Yeah, you're like, but I mean, let's be honest. How else could those guys have passed away?
We got our guy. Yeah, it took a year and a half to arrest the chemist.
Yeah, like I don't think there would have been exactly who lived in the house that they died in.
And he moved out. And he moved out the next day.
That was wild. That part was wild, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
no, come on. Like, here's the actual this guy.
Found 3 dead guys in my backyard. All right, house for sale.
Yep. Oh, you know what? And how funny is that? And how similar is that to
Oh
some
yeah,
McCabe's?
the
I mean,
the Alberts.
the Alberts. That's what it is. Thank you.
Yep.
Look. I keep forgetting which characters in which parts of the
We
story.
call them all the Mac Alberts.
Oh, that would be yes, combined. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. All right, let's pull up this video and see what this guy's to say.
Prosecuting Attorney Eric Zahn. With me is Kansas City Police Chief Stacy Graves, Deputy Chief Doug Niemeyer, Detective Philip Sipple, and Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Colin Van Oster. We're here today to announce charges against 2 men for drug distribution and manslaughter in the deaths of Clayton McGeeney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson. These 3 men were found dead outside a Platte County home on January 9, 2024. Today, Jordan Willis and Ivory Carson have been charged with distribution of a controlled substance and 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter. This case has received considerable attention from the media, and I think some people seem to believe that charges may never be brought in this case.
It's
People may
for
have
some
doubted
people.
this investigation because it has spanned more than a year. But understand this, the Kansas City Police Department and my office do not rest on homicide cases until we have exhausted every possible resource to bring anybody we believe responsible to justice. Today's charges are the product of hard work of Kansas City detectives and prosecutors over those many months. Let me summarize the probable cause statement in this case, and we will have copies of the charging documents, including the entire probable cause statement for you after our statements here. As I've mentioned, Clayton McGeeney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson were found dead outside defendant Jordan Willis's home in the 5200 block of Northwest 83rd Terrace in the Platte County portion of Kansas City on January 9. Mr. McGeeney's fiance told police that Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson had gone to Mr. Willis's home to watch the Kansas City Chiefs football game on January 7th. When she could not contact Mr. McGeeney, she went back to the home on January 9th and found at least one person dead on the back patio. Temperatures had dropped below freezing the night of the Chiefs game. Officers with the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department responded to that scene and found Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson's bodies in the backyard of the home. Detectives then obtained consent to search the home. They found 2 plastic bags containing white powdery substances. The bags were tested by the Kansas City, Missouri Police Crime Laboratory.
George.
One of those bags contained cocaine, and the probable cause statement alleges that Mr. Willis was determined to be the major contributor of DNA found on that bag.
No kidding.
The other bag contained fentanyl, and the probable cause statement alleges that Mr. Carson was determined to be the major contributor of DNA on that bag. The probable cause statement also recounts the statement of a witness who said he was at Mr. Harrington's home with Mr. Harrington, Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Johnson, and the defendant, Mr. Willis, the night of the football game, where he saw a large plate of cocaine allegedly supplied by Mr. Willis that everyone was using. The witness said Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Johnson were going to Mr. Willis's home after the football game. Another witness said he was with Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Harrington, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Willis at Willis's home later that night on January 7th, where they drank, smoked marijuana, and used cocaine. That witness left shortly before midnight.
They forgot and used
data recovered from Mr. Harrington's phone allegedly contains text messages between Mr. Harrington, Mr. McGeeney, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Willis, the defendant, Mr. Carson, and others consistent with the purchase and use of cocaine. The messages allegedly indicate that Mr. Carson supplied Mr. Harrington with cocaine. A doctor with Forensic Medical of Kansas found that Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson all died of fentanyl and cocaine combined toxicity.
Wow.
Mr. Willis and Mr. Carson are both charged with a single count of delivery of a controlled substance and 3 counts of involuntary manslaughter for recklessly causing the deaths of Mr. McGeaney, Mr. Harrington, and Mr. Johnson. Each of those charges carries a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. Mr. Carson is in the Platte County Jail in lieu of a $100,000 cash bond.
I think it's
We've
OD.
been told that Mr. Willis is going to surrender himself on the warrant issued for his arrest and that he will post a $100,000 cash bond.
What?
This case is a tragic
Willis
reminder
is gonna fight
of the
this?
dangers of street drugs. But make no mistake, the people who supply those drugs can and will be held accountable when people overdose. I again want to thank the men and women of the Kansas City Police Department
So
for their
reckless.
tireless work on this case, as well as
Oh, yeah, one of the guys
Mr.
did
Van
have
Osteren
kids,
standing here
Becky.
with me, and First Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Mark Gibson. All of these folks were intimately involved in this investigation from day one. I should caution you that the charges against Mr. Willis and Mr. Carson are merely accusations, and they are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty. Let me turn things over now to Chief Graves for a few additional comments.
The charges here today are a message for not only those who are grieving the lives of their loved ones who were lost to, in this case, to fentanyl, to know that the members of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department do not give up on these investigations.
You hear that? She
While
didn't
this
comment on
happened
the
a year
cocaine.
ago, our detectives continue to work
It's
on
not
this
on the
case
fence.
to get it to the point that we are today, where charges are filed. In addition to that, this is a message to those that are bringing fentanyl into our communities, providing it to people, harming our community, that you will be held accountable, you will be arrested, and you will be charged.
Good afternoon.
Nope.
I am
Double the press conference. Sorry about that. So, isn't that wild? Oh, Eric.
It don't kill you.
What?
Because cocaine don't kill you. That's why he's fighting it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what was funny. That's why he was like, it's the mix of the two. And so one guy who has more DNA on the fent baggie is funny. That's kind of funny. That's a wild way to spin that.
Yeah, it is.
Wrong channel for that stuff, George. We don't talk about that stuff here, George. Wrong channel. But we'll go back now. I was like stoked that they arrested somebody because they did drugs, but I didn't actually think they would arrest somebody because they're grown men. You know what I mean? Like the thought didn't cross my mind. Like
That's why it's involuntary manslaughter.
yeah, we don't care about spelling here, Ducky. We're like, George wants to go south of the border. We're like, there's no, we can't investigate. We tried to investigate a chick who went south of the border. We lost her. Do you remember that, Eric?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, she went south of the border. We can't do it. We can't follow. We can't go that far.
She wasted our time.
She wasted the heck out of our time. I was so disappointed.
Me
I was
too.
disappointed because we knew what was going to happen the second we read it. We're like, ugh.
I knew she was turning tricks in Mexico anyway.
Yeah. Assumptions, vast, wide assumptions. I thought
Speculation.
speculation. There you go. Speculative. Yes, it's very speculative of you. My dog just ran in the house with another squeak toy, and just in case you guys are wondering, yeah, George, we're getting to DNA. We're getting to the DNA. We got a couple. We were like kind of trying to meet her out today because we think we might take a lot of time with the BK stuff. So I figured we get taken care of. Let's talk about that.
The Karen Reed stuff is a lot too.
The Karen Reed stuff is a lot. I wanted
And
to
there's court tomorrow for Karen Reed too. So
and I think that Turtle Boy has to go back to court too.
oh,
Yeah. So they're all like, I don't know how Bettero's going to go back and forth, but I think he's got, I don't know. I think it's kind of wild. Did you watch Peter today talk about how biased it seems? How he thinks Bev seems biased?
I heard him say that. I don't know what video was it last night's video?
It was from this afternoon. No, that's
Oh
what's
no,
absolutely wild, you guys. If I know George Duck, you guys use YouTube. I mean, today's just you can't. Everything's just like within the last hour, another thing got dropped, and another thing got dropped, and like we still don't know. I just want to touch that the like Gene Hackman. Totes up in the air. We don't know what happened yet. I was hoping by the end of the day we'd have more answers for that.
you know what's crazy about that?
It's just getting more wild.
They're tracking his pacemaker for like a day or 2 days or something. They got his pacemaker because you know that registers to something. So they have his like heart rate, and they're like, that's what they're tracking. I didn't read into that, but I know they said they're like a black box from a plane. They're using that.
Oh, that's so cool. I actually saw a thumbnail with that title. I won't get back to it because I thought like one of these days you guys will come back and have like more comprehensive information about Gene Hackman and his wife. But like the whole thing is.
Yeah, you know what happened with that? I started a video on it and it just blew up, and I was like, oh my God. Then like you have to go watch something else. There's like so much in it. You could do a whole show on it. And we will.
Yeah. Yeah, we will because it's too interesting. We can't.
And it's our style too. It's like Hollywood.
We can't stop ourselves. We'll get into it. We're figuring out hours and times here with everybody's different work schedules. So we'll get into it. We'll figure it out.
Hey, Cat K.
Hey, Cat K. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, friends. Anybody who wants to chat in chat.
Any questions? Just ask.
Yeah, we're good. We'll answer your questions. So I think that we could talk about Karen Reed today.
All right. Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go on and talk about because you guys, I watched. I think it's wild that the attorneys had to Bettero had to rush from one courtroom to the other.
Yeah, I know.
Or they went from the federal courtroom in the same courthouse down to this other courtroom after one hearing, like the way they were moving through the case to the last couple of days, and then everybody gets put off again. Nobody's coming right back.
I like it's like a high school fight.
Yeah,
they did this. They did this. They did this.
It is wild. No, it's totally wild. And they come back with something else, and they're like. The reasonings behind things that they do, their responses to these motions have been kind of much like that.
Like Brennan, he wants to put sanctions. Like he wants the defense to have a gag order and the prosecution not to.
Right. I know. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, Ducky. I thought Peter, the lawyer. I love him. Yeah, he totally was calling out the bias, and his video is too long for us to play here and react to. I'll put this link in here or KK if you can get to it. Because Peter's great, and that his explanation today, talking about as an attorney, he knows, his dad's an attorney, so they got different. I'm sure he grew up with a different perspective of things. So they see it. Hoosiers is their favorite Gene Hackman movie. I don't know. I did love Royal Tenenbaums, but Eric, we were talking about Hoosiers the other day when we found it happened, right? We were like, oh no.
I love Hoosiers. Jimmy Chipwood.
Yep. Oh man, that's so funny because that's such a great movie, but it's older character. I mean, I know there's
Norman Dale.
I know. What about you, Ducky? What's your favorite Gene Hackman movie? The Pacemaker today, because connected to the app. See, the patient. So you'd think here's that is connected to a doctor, the pacemaker. So the doctor didn't notice the pacemaker shut off 2 weeks ago.
I think it's dedicated to a system or something.
Well, I think it's dedicated to a system of if the person's no longer alive, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it didn't work. Maybe it shut down and that's what killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably would have heard that already, right? That was speculation. That was wild.
You know what I heard today? He died from a broken heart.
Yeah. Well, that's sad to say. I mean, the guy was 95, which is incredible.
God bless.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, kudos, good job, man. 95's old, good. I don't know many people who live that
He
long.
might have just had enough.
Yeah, and maybe he was tired, sat down. Yeah, I like seeing Beto in court too. It's cool to see him down at the end, right? It was funny because Ducky, I was trying to figure out. I was trying to watch the Turtle Boy stuff too because I wanted to keep up with Turtle Boy because he's like his charges are more like First Amendment stuff that's going on. Like the stuff he's being charged with is totally different. But then today, afterwards, 2 days ago, he was in court, right? And then after court, he goes to the bar next door to the pizza shop and like heckles the guy. And then at the end of court today, he got in trouble.
Oh, he did?
Now
Oh,
now they put restraining orders on him. I believe that he's not allowed in that restaurant. He probably whatever the name of the bar. I know the name of the bar next door was like a M initial something. I can't remember what it was. I didn't write it down, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ducky. And they want to bring in stuff from Turtle Boy. I saw it. Was that right? Did they want to bring in stuff from the Turtle Boy? Our nurses at shift changing, Ducky. We've got some shift change stuff for the nurse, so probably making our changes will be different. So we're all doing some weird work shift things happening at the moment, and we're hoping that our nurse is no longer working, at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, but we're getting it figured out. She'll be back with us eventually.
But oh, you know what? The lawyers in Karen Reed, if you watch them, they're awesome.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
even Brennan, you hate him, but he's good.
He's good, but you can tell like he's good because he was a defense attorney. Like kind of like the opposite of Bettero, right? Like Bettero was a prosecutor and now he's defense, and Brennan was defense and now he's prosecutor.
Well, Bettero, he prosecutes like cops and politicians, I think.
Well, yeah, but I mean, all sorts of wild stuff. I looked over his. He's got a pretty long history. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, hold on. Wait 1 second. Okay, I'm back. That was more or less than a sec. My dog Quincy just ate the squeaker out of the inside of a toy. I caught him.
All right,
yeah.
let's start with this. Karen Reed, anybody have a question?
Yeah. What did you think of I can pull up the fireworks in court thing. Video.
I like the Alan Jackson and Bev go at it.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. You guys want to watch that one? It was good. I mean, it was hard. Yeah, I want you to, Ducky, we don't care. You were right earlier when you said that. I meant to comment about we don't care about spelling. Total ass move. And I think I want 5 huge monitors too. Like we're at, a huge football game at Wild Buffalo Wings or whatever. I just want to be able to see so I can see
soon.
All the different cases all happening at one time. Oh, let me find this here video. It is. Oh, it's only 8 minutes long.
It's 8 good minutes.
It is 8 good minutes. Oh, you know what? That's funny you say that. It's 8 good minutes, and it's 8 good minutes of these attorneys. I mean, these guys, they're really that good. I'm really that impressed. Oops. If I can ever figure it out here. What's this menu?
That Lieutenant Fanning was in this.
Is it on? Did I have it up?
It was on.
Oh, I was trying to make it bigger. That's all I was trying to do. Okay.
And she said that he was the, quote, commander of the extensive security operations that this case has required. Period. End quote. That sentence says a lot. It said a lot to me.
It does not say he has access to or control over the jurors.
It says that
and
he has.
I'm just going to stop you. I'll let you finish in a minute.
Okay.
Mr. Yannetti, as a Massachusetts practicing lawyer, knows that the court officers are in charge of the jurors. Go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
If there is a commander of the extensive security operations over the entire case, there is, Your Honor, no greater security operation than securing the jurors. That is sacrosanct. It's paramount among the security operations that the court embraces And we were told, I didn't make it up, Ms. McLaughlin told us. We were told he was the commander, not part of a security operation that was outside the court, not part of a security operation that helped parking cars or making sure that citizens got in and out of the courtroom appropriately. We were told he was the commander of the extensive security operations in this case. It is reasonable to conclude from that statement that Fanning was either directly in charge of the jurors, which the court is now telling me he wasn't. Again,
You were told that at sidebar
No.
that day by Ms. McLaughlin.
No, we were not. We were told.
I have the transcript.
Your Honor, what we were told is what his title was. Commander of the extensive security operations of the court. So we reasonably concluded that he was either directly in charge of the jurors or in charge of the people who were in charge of security of the jurors. But we were never allowed the opportunity to find out exactly what his role was because the court didn't take evidence, refused our request at the time in good faith. Both Mr. Unetti and I asked the court to take evidence from Lieutenant Fanning. The court
I think it was
declined.
Ms. Little.
I'm sorry?
I think it was Ms. Little who asked me to.
And what was the court's response? The court's response was to decline that invitation. We didn't take any evidence, which would have drawn down on the issue, so I wouldn't have to make reasonable conclusions. I would actually have the information. So of course, that's one of the issues that is attendant to our motion to dismiss because it seems wildly inappropriate. Here's what we do know about Lieutenant Fanning. Once his name was uttered, here's what we did know. He's among the troopers that is one of Michael Proctor's supervisors. He interviewed several prosecution witnesses who testified at trial against Miss Reed, including Laura Sullivan, Marietta Sullivan, Bridget Meehan, Heather Maxson. He interviewed all of those individuals or took part in those interviews. Lieutenant Fanning was at the defendant's home and seized her cell phone in January of 2024, just months before the trial began. Lieutenant Fanning was included on the text chain where Trooper Proctor said he was going through my client's phone looking for nudes. And then his name comes up at sidebar as the commander of the extensive security operations attendant to this case. And he's the source report to whom something was reported about juror misconduct. When you couple those two things together, that he's the commander of security and a person who supposedly, through hearsay, overheard a juror making statements about the case, and they have an entire myriad of individuals to whom they could report it. They report it to Fanning, and then Fanning reports it to the court officer who reports it to the court. It is not unreasonable to conclude that he was at least within the orbit of the security operations governing the jurors, which is exactly why we put it in our papers. And without additional information clarifying that, we have no way of knowing that he wasn't involved or didn't have any direct access to the jurors. If he didn't, he didn't. And that's a fact that everybody can agree on. But when we heard the information, the only reasonable conclusion we had, given the fact that he was the source of the information and he was defined as the commander of security over the entire case, not part of the case, the entire case, which includes the jury, that is a reasonable conclusion.
So you signed your affidavit 2 weeks ago when you already knew that he did not have any access to the jurors.
No, I didn't. I absolutely did
Signed
not.
and sworn under the pains and penalties of perjury this 21st day of February 2025.
Correct. On February 21st, 2025, we were still at the first time that it was mentioned that he had absolutely no access to the jurors. He never had any contact with the jurors is when we received our responsive documents from the opposition from the Commonwealth. In that document,
gotcha. The
he
feds.
never had any direct access. He didn't have indirect access. They make these claims with no verification,
Gotcha, Ducky.
no declaration, no supporting evidence, no declaration from the attorneys who filed the opposition. That's the first time someone actually took the position that he had absolutely no access to any of the jurors, direct or indirect. So when we filed our papers, the information that I just told the court is the information we were working from.
I will let you move on. I can tell you I'm really not satisfied with your answer, Mr. Jackson.
Just leave
Put
satisfied
it
with
this way.
any answer.
Let's say it this way. So Now that you know that he had absolutely no access to the jury, what's the nature of the conflict? How is your client's right to a fair trial jeopardized?
Is
Now
there
that you
evidence
know it's not true.
Is there evidence? My question to the court is there evidence that he had absolutely no access, either direct or indirect, with any of the jurors? I don't know that to be true. I mean, I take the court at its word, obviously, clearly. I take
So
the court
we
at its
will
word.
we
But
will
the-
move on from that, Mr. Jackson. We'll
But the-
move on from that. So
Well, the court's asking what is our evidence of, or what's our indication of the impropriety of him being the person that actually reported this misconduct and ultimately leading to the exclusion of a very, very defense-friendly witness, defense-friendly juror, or presumably a defense-friendly juror, and knowing at the same time that he was intimately involved in the prosecution of my client. That's the reason. Because he was at least within the orbit of commanding, according to Ms. McLaughlin, commanding the extensive security services over this case. And he ends up, just ironically, who knew? He ends up being the source
Just
of the
ironic.
information that got that juror removed. That's awfully coincidental, Your Honor. And yes, that's the foundation on which we built our argument that that shouldn't have happened. He certainly never, ever should have had any access, even in the orbit of the jurors, directly or indirectly. And the court never even inquired as to why he was the one receiving the report. Why Lieutenant Fanning, of all people, who then reports it to the court officer, who then reports it to the court, who then removes the juror. That's an awfully straight line between Lieutenant Fanning, who has an interest in this case, and the removal of a juror. That's improper in our view. And that's why we put it in the papers, and that's why we argued it the way we did. Because we were working off of extremely reasonable beliefs based on information that was provided to us at sidebar in the court's presence.
all right, so that's your answer to my question.
That's my answer.
Can I have a moment to confer with counsel?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the answer to your question, Bev. Hey, happy faces.
Hey, happy faces.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, we're so late too. We'll go ditto right back at you. Yeah, he was at Betterow was at Turtle Boy's hearing, and now Turtle Boy has to be back in court. Were you guys here for that? Us discussing that already, Kat? Okay, like I thought that was wild. Hey, happy faces. Yeah, the whole thing is wild.
It was-
Pipe and smoke it, Bev. Eric. I mean, that's so funny that she's like, I guess I'm satisfied now. Oh, okay, I guess I'm satisfied. Like, her answers are incredible. Like, she seems so, like, exacerbated. Like, oh, God. Every time anybody, like, I don't know, she does it with Brennan sometimes too, but you can tell, right? You can tell that she's not doing it as much with prosecution.
She likes Yannetti.
She does.
You always listen, remember here? Oh, Mr. Yannetti, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a weird dynamic, and I don't know, like, how is this still going on? Poor Karen Reed. How did the feds not find this double jeopardy? How did that not happen? Did anybody see that?
No idea.
I know I had a video here. Let me see if I can find it. That's just like a quick clip of what happens when they came out, what the feds said. Let's find it. Because if nobody else watched it, we're going to
Supposedly the Fed investigation is over. It's done.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But why? Like, what, the investigation's over, meaning that's done. That's closed. That case is closed. She's never going to get,
the feds are investigating Fanning.
Right. But I mean, go ahead.
No, I'm saying they were like investigating Fanning, and I think that they were investigating him and whatever he had to do with this case.
Okay, that's the federal pub Karen Reed's case. That's what I have. Because I have a double jeopardy argued in Karen Reed case from Boston, or their news channel.
My
I
thought
don't-
is they're investigating the lieutenant to see if he's corrupt, and then he make everybody corrupt. That's my thought.
That's what? Let's
They're,
see
they're
here.
investigating the lieutenant. If he's corrupt, then the whole department thing.
Oh
That's what I
yeah.
think.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I want to watch this. Let me see this other video. Let's see here. Because I want to see this other video. Because just a less than 2-minute news clip. And that guy will explain it. Let's see.
Katie and Antoinette, in addition to the update on the federal investigation, the prosecution is now arguing that the defense should be sanctioned for violating the court's protective order by revealing non-public information. Karen Reed and her defense attorneys are seen here arriving this morning at Norfolk Superior Court, greeted by supporters. Inside court, within the past hour, Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan made two important statements to Judge Cannone. First, Brennan confirms that the federal investigation into John O'Keefe's death is complete. Second, Brennan is now asking the judge to issue sanctions against the defense for violating the court's
We knew that.
protective order. The violation came in a defense filing that was not sealed from the public. In other words, it was made public. The defense motion included a message from Trooper Michael Proctor to Assistant District Attorney Adam Lally on July 1st of last year regarding the mistrial that Judge Cannone declared that day due to the hung jury. We will hear first from Hank Brennan and then defense attorney David Yannetti explaining why he did not seal the motion.
There should be a gag order on all of these attorneys, every single one of them. And the Commonwealth will not speak either.
It was an oversight, not an attempt to flout any rules of this court. And while I do ask the court to take my word for that, I do also submit that there is evidence to back up that word.
Yannetti claims the disclosure was unintentional. Just to recap the breaking news, Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan confirms the conclusion of the federal investigation into John O'Keefe's death, and Brennan is asking for a gag order on all attorneys in the case in order not to influence the potential jury pool. Karen Reed's retrial is scheduled to begin in 4 weeks.
4 weeks. 4 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I didn't understand. So the Fed's investigation is.
I was wrong. It wasn't Fanning. It was Morrissey, the DA.
Yeah, I see that. That's why I was like, wait a second. I thought it was somebody else's name. They were talking about Fanning today, though. They were talking about Fanning in a different. That's the juror, right? That's
No,
the juror.
No, Fanning is the jury guy. Yeah, Morrissey's the district attorney.
Yeah. I think. Look, I don't live there. I've only watched this case, but it sure looks like they're all. They all look bad to me. Then Proctor, what's he gonna do? Like that guy? Why hasn't he been fired yet, Ducky? Yeah, I don't get it. What do you think?
Well, they did call Brennan, but they can reopen it at any time.
The federal investigation?
Yeah, they can. They were told, like, Washington tells them to call him and say it's over.
Right. I don't trust any of that. I think though, so we have Karen Reed isn't till the 2nd. I thought it was a joke. I thought you said court tomorrow.
Yeah, there's court tomorrow. They got to finish up what they did the other 2 days.
Oh, okay.
The sanctions and all that. Yeah.
Okay. So there's
11 o'clock. I'm almost positive.
11 a.m. your time? Eastern
Yeah.
Standard?
Boston's in my neighborhood.
Okay.
I wrote the schedule down, and then they go back on the 18th.
Okay. For what?
Yeah. What is it? Where did I write it? Lamine, which means the judge's decision to exclude, limit, or include evidence before trial.
What's limine?
Limine is judge's decision to exclude, limit, or include evidence before trial.
Yeah, that's a bunch of stuff that just came. That's all the stuff that just came back in Brian Kohberger the day they had all those motions, the limine get declined.
Yeah, today was a limine day.
Yeah. Today was a day of pure limine. I couldn't. Wrong way to use that word, but I mean that was today's been just insane to me.
I was Lamind.
Yeah, your mind was all over.
Lamind.
That's like this is the French version of mind. La mind.
Yeah, I had to look that up.
Back on the 18th and 19th. Kate back. Karen Reed back because I thought she said April 2nd. Was that a different case? Because I was like, April 2nd is
that would be trial.
Is that a joke?
Or no, jury selection maybe.
Oh yeah, jury selection. But I say, is that a joke? Because it's like the day after April 1st, you know.
They can dismiss this though on the 18th.
They can. Or the night. I mean, like if every time we go to court, I feel like these guys are going to pull something out, and it's going to have to go the way of the last trial again.
I don't know what Deb's got going on in April. I think it's up to her.
Yeah. I mean, I am totally loving all the channels that came out for Karen Reed, though. Like all the channels that have put out stuff for her, it's kind of cool. Like all those JFK guys, and I mean, like people are like not gonna let this just slip. I don't think.
How good is Alessi? He's awesome. Today, she goes, Mr. Alessi, I don't think you could do yours in 10 minutes, right? And he's like, no.
Oh, that was awesome. And he was like, no, and then and then he finished anyways.
You're like too thorough.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. She was like,
It was awesome when he had his thing. He's like, well, you didn't tell me that. He's like, I go in a chronological order, and I didn't get to that.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I love that. The court's so fun to watch because Bev's got like angst. She's just like upset. I can't tell what she's so upset about.
She's just evil. Like she don't want to be there.
Yeah. AJ's great. Alessi's great. Bettero's going to be fun to watch in court.
Even Brennan, the prick, is good.
Little was good today. She did a great job. I mean, I'm just impressed. I'm impressed. You know, Brennan's a great attorney. We just don't want to like him because we don't want Karen to go to prison. That's all. And it's really cool. Melanie Little. Oh, that's what she calls lemonade. Yeah, you know what I like about Melanie is that when she goes to court, she gets there like 2 hours early. Did you ever watch show up with her early, Eric? She's like, I'm gonna live for court, and she's like an hour ahead of everybody else. And Emily's like, I'll take my time and start whenever.
She don't want the red carpet.
Yeah. It's funny because they like both, start different times and sometimes I'll bounce back and forth, and they're at different times, and I just enjoy watching it so much. The court case because of the attorneys. I know that's cheesy. I'll stop.
She's got to cover Alan Jackson. He ain't gonna be there tomorrow.
Yeah, why not? Because Alan Jackson's out. Lisa Little's in.
Yeah. I guess he has to do what he would do. So Bev might be nice tomorrow because Alan ain't there.
Is that the only thing? She's just got a gripes with Alan Jackson. Is that all?
Yeah, he's a hotshot from California.
But he's really, though. I mean, he's good. And so they're like, I mean, other attorneys are going to come in and help Karen. There's no way. I mean, God.
You know why I don't like her? Because today he schooled her.
What do you say today?
Isn't that what we just watched? She's like trying to tell him to shut up, and he's like, no. This. And by the end, she's like, all right, I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, he schooled her today. That's why I like that so much.
Yeah, he was so good about it because she was like trying to catch him. She's trying to catch him, and he's like, actually, no, that's not how it is.
All right. What next? Any questions on Karen Reed? Anybody?
I mean, there was not. We got.
Crosby was that guy. Crosby, their dog guy. He was put down to a rebuttal witness.
He was.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome because that was one of the things that Peter was talking about today, which was that with the obvious bias.
Oh, unless he abused him.
Oh.
like his credentials and everything, unless he went off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's pretty good to watch. He just shot everything he does down. He's not a doctor. He's nothing. Like,
Well, I mean, he's definitely not the specialist. Like the they're not going to get anybody better.
he said, like the moles he made, but terrible.
Oh, of dog bites?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Because he's not a dog bite guy, right? Is he a?
Well, that's what they were using him for.
But that's not what he is.
Well, they tried to say he was, but he got abused.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's
see,
like a rebuttal witness.
better attorneys. She's got better attorneys. And she's innocent. So there's that.
Yeah.
I saw some guy in our comments calling you a knucklehead, Eric.
Who, me?
Yeah, I can't remember what some guy in the comments.
Oh, that guy, the one I went back at?
Yeah. And I was like, that's funny because like I don't, it doesn't feel like, and I'm sorry, the person, if you're watching and making comments, that's great. I think you're wrong. I don't see any evidence whatsoever that Kara did this. So
Yeah, I asked him if he works for Canton PD.
and maybe he does. Maybe he's from Boston. Maybe he knows somebody there. Maybe he knows somebody that works in the courthouse. Who knows? But that was a interesting comment. I thought, because I thought, no, I don't see that. I do
Maybe
not.
he knows I'm from New York.
Yeah.
People from Boston don't like people from New York.
Oh, that's it. It's just he just heard your accent and he's like,
Well, maybe, I don't know.
He's like, nope, not
Put
that
some
guy.
facts up. Call me a knucklehead. I'll be a knucklehead if you beat me with facts, but put some facts up.
Yeah, I'd like some facts, and that's the problem. There aren't any. There are no facts. That, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, man. But I think that was like, that's it, right? I mean,
I'd rather more people call me a knucklehead too.
Eric likes that. He likes the combativeness of it all.
I had the worst drama I'm ever gonna get this week, so bring it on.
Yeah, no kidding. What about Ducky? I did see Bev trying to girl bond with Lisa Little. That was funny. And take responsibility for any unintentional misuse. Yeah, because they misunderstanding, because they were like, it's funny to watch Bev, right? I mean, it's her courtroom, but she's like, she definitely has likes and dislikes, and it is really obvious. And I say that, make sure you check out that one video from Peter. Is only like 15 or 20 minutes long. They're talking about the bias, and it's he explains it so much better than I'm going to, unfortunately. I thought, like, today, interesting stuff. We got, let's talk about Brian now, because we all want to talk about BK, because everybody loves Idaho 4 stuff. Does anybody in chat not know about the Idaho 4 case? Should we explain it?
Like what happened in the last 2 days?
Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, just what happened in the last 2 days. What happened in the last 2 days? Tell me more.
Well, they found 3 DNAs under Maddie's fingernail.
Oh my gosh, were any of them Brian's?
They're saying no.
Wow.
And some people are saying yes. And then today, they got the 911 call and the text messages between
we got them.
DF and DM.
We've got all of
we've
those.
Been waiting for.
We've got those. Check out this. I got the.
It's a little redacted, but they know what happened. And Dylan wasn't wasted.
And we got the screenshot that they released of the vehicle that has no way of being able to tell what kind of car is other than white.
It's debunked, I heard.
That this car's debunked?
That's what I heard.
I don't know about that. It's the car driving by at 356. I don't know who debunked it. Is that, I mean, it's in
another 2 other creators I heard it from.
Oh, well, I'm sure those 2 other creators, when they become lawyers, can debunk it in court.
Yeah, well.
I'm like, that's a court document. What was actually debunked, Eric, was that this
whatever they said it had a sunroof or it didn't have a sunroof. Something about a sunroof. Whatever his car had or didn't have is the opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
There was I think I actually read some. Now that you said that, I read something else about this after it was released. Like that is maybe not necessarily Brian's car. It is a car going by or something, whatever their BS thing. But this car doesn't have a sunroof. Is that a sunroof?
I can't see that far.
I don't see a sunroof. I wish I could zoom in.
Did they say his car did? I don't know exactly. Like that stuff came out. Like I was prepping for this show, and all that stuff came out, and I tried to get into it, and like, so I didn't try and fact out everything I heard, like that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see that. So I didn't get to watch any of the other creators who go over everything. But I
Speculation.
mean, like we can't debunk anything yet. Is kind of how I feel. Like I'm
But
cool.
I
I'm
didn't-
glad they're going over everything, but I mean, like this stuff has to. This is like court documents. We don't even know what was the paperwork that went with this.
I gotta watch Pavarotti before I debunk anything.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be your superhero or whatever his
Yep.
song says.
Nah,
'Cause
he's
I-
good.
This is the other wild thing that we got.
Oh, text messages.
This is wild.
You know what else? If you could find, there's other text messages, but they're written in like the format, like an affidavit. I wrote a little of them down, so when we're done with this, I'll get into them.
What is it?
Like there's a few more text messages. I wrote them down. Like
Oh, they were
Like,
in the
in-
documents. They aren't.
yeah,
printed
in the
out.
morning
Yeah.
there was text
Yeah.
messages. Like I wrote it all down with
Yeah.
timestamps.
Yeah, they were farther in. Those ones are farther in. I noticed that. I think
Yes,
these were the important ones. These are the important ones that are supposed to be going on.
These are the ones
As-
that show you Dylan wasn't wasted.
Well, not wasted like we thought. She's not like half asleep and zonked out. She's answering.
She's not on ayahuasca.
Yeah, it may be. I don't know. She did spell something. So to being into
Yeah.
fifth.
I spell
I'm just
things-
kidding.
I
I'm
spell things wrong too.
Yeah, no, we all do. Everybody does. Everybody does. Every
Do you want to
single
read them?
Yeah, but this is the DM to BF. I guess I just read them. No one is answering. I'm really confused right now. Kaylee? To Kaylee? What's going on to Kaylee?
Dylan to Kelly.
Yeah. Bethany to Dylan. Yeah, dude. What the fuck? I mean, WTF. Bethany to Dylan. Xana was wearing all black. And now that I did hear get discussed. And I think that I think that should be like someone was wearing all black, or I don't think that had like alluded to Xana wearing black clothes. I think
Well, if
that
you read down, it looks like she didn't hear her right. Like
right. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I think they're misunderstood. So then it says, I'm freaking out right now, which, yeah. And then it says, no, it's like ski mask almost. That's weird, right? So that's like, are we missing comments in here? Do you think there's
Yeah,
text
something
missing?
was like they think they retracted some.
Oh, okay.
Redacted.
Redacted, not retracted. Yeah. Because they would have retracted it, but the court would have redacted. So like, shut the fuck up. Actually, like he had something over his head and a little over his mouth. I'm not kidding. I'm so freaked out. So am I. My phone is going to die. Fuck. Come in my room. Run down here. Yeah. These messages are so insane to me, you guys, if you think about the thoughts and everything that was going on in those moments.
The timestamp is important on those.
Yeah.
It's like where I got it. 422 to 424 and 27 seconds.
Yeah, it's on there. Oh, you can't see it over the live thing on the screen. Oh, sorry. I zoomed-
Well, I'm just saying.
yeah. It is
Well, you know-
important. It is
You know what
important.
else is important? Dylan text the rideshare driver, EG, at 2:10 in the morning. And what did she say?
Yes, he was working.
Oh yeah, you're working.
I don't think that's weird. Why? What makes us think that's weird? I know. I'm asking legitimately because I know a lot of people think it's weird. So tell me what you think is weird about it.
What time did Kelly and Maddie get the rideshare? Was it
Probably right.
One-
Probably right after.
1:56 or something? They got home at 1:56.
So it is. I thought they left the bar when it closed at 2. No, I'm wrong.
No,
Time's
no,
up.
they were at the grub truck. I think they got home at 1:56.
Okay.
And so at 2:10, why is Dylan texting EG? Are you working?
Maybe she wasn't home.
Well, that's
Maybe she
interesting.
needed a
That's
ride.
interesting.
Mm-hmm. I thought that for a long time. I was wondering if either of them were home. Clearly they're both home at 4 something.
I mean, according to the affidavit, they were.
But Dylan, I mean, do we know? Honestly, we don't know what their alibi, and they don't really need an alibi. We don't know what she was doing before that.
At 4:24, Dylan texts Ethan. No answer.
Were all the texts released? I don't know. Happy. I can't tell.
What's the question?
I wouldn't spell check my text if there's murder going on in my house. Me neither, Mr.
Well,
Mandala.
That's
What
the
was-
question.
Happy said, were all the texts released?
Well, whatever they didn't redact.
Yeah.
I got one at 10:23, 23 seconds. Dylan makes a text to Jay.
10:23 in the morning to
Yep.
AM. Okay.
No, to Jay, whoever Jay is. And then she makes a text to Kaylee, please answer. Maddie, please, are you up? And then Kaylee again, are you up? Then at 11:39, Dylan texts her dad.
Wow. Do we know what it said?
No. 11:50, she texts Jay again, bro. Or no, Jay texts back, bro.
Who's Jay? Do we know who Jay is?
No idea, no. Maybe Hunter Johnson, maybe, I don't know.
I know Hunter Johnson's in here. Like, when I have the 911 call transcripts. I don't have an image for you because for some reason when I kept pulling up my computer, they come up all. They were downloading all of, like, overlapping on each other for some reason. But I have the 911 call transcript. If you guys
No,
want me,
that happened the same when I screenshotted it.
what?
It overlapped when I screenshotted it.
Oh no! I mean, I downloaded it from the actual court's website.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It did that to me too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was weird. It was just like, but then when I printed it out correctly. So I thought that was weird. Do you have it in front of you, Eric?
No, I don't.
Do you guys want me to read you the 911 call? Because I was
Okay.
like, I wanted to put it on the screen for you and read along with it, but it's not that long.
Is it juicy? The one I have is like 15 pages.
This is 4 pages.
All right.
This is not even 4 full pages. Is it juicy? Well, I mean,
You want me to send what I have to you?
well, I just meant I thought we could read them back and forth, like you could read the operator and I could read
Yeah,
the
just
callers.
I don't want to get kicked out of here.
You don't want to do what?
I don't want to get kicked out of StreamYard if I start messing around.
Oh, Eric's on the touchy. StreamYard's too touchy, you guys. That's what the issues are around here. We're not touchy. It's StreamYard. We are not the touchy.
You want me to try?
To read it? To pull it up?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to pull it up though. No, definitely not.
Oh, okay. Well, then don't try. But I really wanted you to, but don't. I mean, I could email it to you while we're talking on the phone. I could read it.
I mean, yeah, but I need another
Yeah.
screen. I need another screen to see it on.
Yep, that's true. I got you. What about this? Ducky says Jay is Jack.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Which Jack do you think it is?
Jack D.
Or Jack S? I mean, who's
Or-
Dylan? Because Jack D wasn't answering the phone, right? Didn't the girls call him like 50 times? Less than that? Not 50 times? Oh, Eric got kicked out. See? He's talking and then he was gone. But there he is. There you are. Are you on stage?
Screen in front of me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I'm looking at the screen with the messages.
Okay. You guys
Yeah, I'm
want
here.
us? Yeah, we got this. Let's read them. You want a 911 caller? You be 911.
Oh, no, I didn't get him.
Oh, you didn't.
No, I just got kicked out and came back. I didn't do
Oh,
nothing.
look at as professional as I can be, Ducky. I know, huh? I'm like, we're trying. Okay.
I could try, I guess, but I need another
Okay.
screen to do it.
I know. You need it. That's because I got the computer, the iPad, and the phone, so it's a little bit easier.
Aren't you fancy?
Yeah, look at me and all the things. I only have 2 eyes, though. It's so difficult. I'm like, where do I look now?
Just read a little and then we'll comment. We'll react.
I'll go like, I do different accents for different things. Just kidding. Just joking. I'll be like, here's the 911 location of your emergency. Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. What is the address of your emergency? 1122. No, don't. What is the rest of the address? Oh, Kings Road. Okay. Is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. We live at the right. So we're next to them. So the phone's getting passed and back and forth, and I believe that's the neighbor. I need someone to repeat the address for verification. The address? 1122 King Road. And what's the phone number you're calling from? What's the phone number? Like, then redacted. And what's the rest of the number? Redacted. Okay. And tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk last night. She's not waking up. No, we saw. Okay. They saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi. Are you there with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone. Stop passing it around. Can I just tell you what happened pretty much? What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much at like 4 a.m. Okay, I need to know what's going on right now. Is someone passed out? Can you find that out? Yeah, I'll come. Come on. Let me go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? She's passed out. What's wrong? Dispatch Moscow local ambulance. She's not waking up. Unconscious, 1122 King Road. 70 is en route. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way. Okay, maybe 1122 King Road. All the ambulance respond for unconsciousness. 1122 King Road. I copy. Unintelligible. Multiple RPs on the phone advised saying the roommate on scene is passed out, not waking up, believes she got drunk last night, and unintelligible. About a male being in the room with them. Unintelligible. Being around. That one I copy. About 20-year-old female, unconscious, trying to get further. Copy. Yeah. It's Evan. So this is Evan gets on the phone. Okay, how old is she? She's 20. 20, you said? Yes, 20. Where do you want to talk to him? Here, do you want to talk to him? Okay, hello? Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people. Okay, sorry. They just gave me the phone. Is she breathing? Hello? Is she breathing? No. Okay. Unintelligible, en route. Bethany or Dylan, I need you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them. That was somebody addressing one of those ladies. Okay, hello? Okay, I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now. Tell me when you have it. Units respond. RPs advising. Unintelligible from the caller. The patient is not conscious, not breathing. Unintelligible from the caller. Okay, if there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. We don't have one. I don't know how college kids are going to have that, but unconscious, not breathing. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes. Yes, we have one. Oh, but are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you. Can help you. Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay. Moscow 46 out. Copy. 13. I think we have a homicide. Moscow engine 20 is en route. 1370. I relayed it. And that's the end of the call.
How come none of that arrives?
The ambulance?
I never heard of an ambulance. I mean, I heard it was sent there, but everybody says it never went inside.
Yeah. I think that the first responders didn't go inside because they were dead. Yeah, that's what I didn't understand either, Ducky. There was somebody else comment I read earlier was like Xana didn't have a lot of blood. Was that a comment from one of our friends, or was that a comment on the internet that Xana somehow didn't have a lot of blood?
I heard her fingers were cut off, or almost.
Well, I bet she grabbed the knife.
It's going to give you a little bit of blood.
Yeah, I mean, you're not no blood, but I mean, she passed out on the floor in the living room?
No, the bedroom, right?
Right. So, yeah, they were too scared to not call 911, Mr. Mandal. And that's what's that's why I'm sorry that I couldn't put those on the screen, because it's probably easier to see that there's different people answering the phone, because it's like A and then A1 and then A2, because other people, because I like how the 911 operators like, could you please stop doing that? Please stop passing the phone around.
But when you're scared, don't you call 911? Ain't that like what you do?
I got to be honest. I would call 911 in like 3 seconds if I thought my roommate was dead, dying, injured, not waking up. Yes, I would have called 911 the instant I saw that I couldn't help my roommate.
Yeah, and if I heard a lot of stuff the night before, or like a few hours before, I would definitely.
And they saw someone they did see. So what I'm getting from that is they saw one person, right? But that's all she saw was that one person. Was she home?
But she didn't know anything about upstairs.
Well, yeah, the text messages, right? That seems like that text messages are like, they clearly no idea what's going on upstairs.
Yeah, well, nobody's answering yet.
Do you think when it says Xana was wearing all black, Xana's not that tall, as tall as Brian. I think that
I think she heard it wrong. If you go back and read it, it seems like she like clears it up and says a mask.
Well, this is the thing. That's what I mean.
No, it's like a mask about.
I know, but these are like text messages, so that's got to be exactly how it would be written out, right? It's not verbal.
Yeah, I'm saying Bethany heard Xana, but I mean, who would Bethany wrote Xana?
Right. Oh, and Bethany's in the
She don't say anything about it all black till she gets down doing it like a few texts down.
And Bethany's in the basement.
I mean, they might have cut something out that we didn't see, and that's why she says Xana. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I just think it says we're just kind of take that. Like Bethany is on the bottom floor, Dylan's on the second floor, and she's saying, and Bethany on the bottom floor is saying Xana was wearing all black. So maybe was Xana wearing all black? Maybe that's a different comment. We're just out of context completely. I wish they didn't I wish there was redacted lines between them if they're missing text, because it clearly is not a conversation fully here, is how I feel reading this. But the 911 call sounds legit. I mean, that's legit. That's frightening to me.
Yeah, with 9 people talking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm sure we've all been in like stressful, weird, freaked out situations where somebody, you got to call 911, but not 8 hours after it happens. Yeah, and you stay on the line. Yeah.
Yeah. If nobody went in the room, they just called 911 8 hours later.
And the fact that they're like, "Are you okay?" Oh, those are the later texts that you had. Those are the other texts. Some of the other texts that you have are actually Dylan or Bethany calling the girls who are gone. Correct?
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. Those are at 10/23/23.
So that'd be, when they get on the stand, I'd like to know a couple interesting things about that. Like, you live in a house with 4 other people. One's a couple. There's 2 other people upstairs. What is the deal? I know they were like, they rent the room separately, yet they're also friends. Great. But everybody has different like ways they live in a home. You know what I mean? Like, are you like, here's my boundary. You don't live in the upstairs. If it's before noon and I don't answer my text message, don't come knocking on my door. Don't wake me up. Do you think that's why they didn't go upstairs to check to see? Because there was nothing about those 2 women upstairs before the police got there.
I don't know. We're missing some stuff in here too. You know, it also said that they're both going to testify, Dylan and Bethany.
I saw that. I'm very excited about that. So this is like, I found another video too. About Becca Barlow.
Oh, the DNA expert.
Yeah, because that Kathy, who I love.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, she's great. She put out a little clip about. Oops, I accidentally hit starting it, but it's Becca Barlow's first filing on the DNA evidence.
You want to play it?
Yeah, it's just from like earlier today. It's only 4 minutes long. Yeah, let's watch it because that's wild too, right?
Yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah, because yesterday was the DNA thing.
Yeah.
Under Maddie's nail or whatever.
Yeah, because this is going to be interesting. The Becca Barlow thing is going to be interesting because the fact that she wants to do this, I feel like people are, whatever the attorneys are seeing stuff that we don't get to see, of course, right? But I mean,
we were told Maddie was the only one who was like asleep. Like that's the impression I got.
Yeah.
Right? Like
yeah. Oh, right. Oh, wrong screen. Oh, because I'm hiding this. Geez me. Oh, geez me. There you go. I figured it out. I'll figure it out eventually. Here we go.
Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. On this date, the 5th of March 2025, one of the motions in limine that Judge Hippler had put under seal temporarily was released to the public. It is dated February 24th, 2025. It is motion in limine number 5 regarding inconclusive data, and this has to do with some DNA testing. And it notes the first time that Mr. Kohberger's new counsel, Becca Barlow, who is appearing pro hoc vice, has filed a document in the case. And what this deals with is she is alleging on his behalf that statistical analysis of an item, it's listed as Q13-1. These are fingernail scrapings. There was DNA that was taken from these scrapings, as we read later on, belonged to Madison Mogan. And the testing came back that there was a mixture of 3 persons' DNA, but that it was inconclusive. And there is a lot of testimony on pages 2, 3, and 4 from apparently the grand jury proceedings that are heavily redacted. So it makes it a little difficult to read, but we see the crux of their argument. The bottom of page 2 is the use of misleading language, that it's inconclusive, might lead the finder of fact, that's the jury, might mislead them, is barred by certain rules of evidence cited here, as well as due process, in that the evidence is overly prejudicial. The erroneous admission of irrelevant and prejudicial evidence will offend due process when it renders a trial fundamentally unfair. And Ms. Barlow cites to Estelle versus McGuire. This is a 1991 United States Supreme Court case. And what she continues to argue is that the idea that the jury could somehow possibly come to the conclusion that if it's inconclusive, well, Mr. Kohberger is not ruled out, and it could violate, therefore, his due process privileges. She goes on page 3 and cites some more about the grand jury proceedings. I think that what's really interesting, if we move on further into this document, is that the defense did challenge this evidence apparently when they sought to set aside the grand jury findings. But what I find really interesting is on page 4, the defense is asserting that Mr. Kohberger disclosed that through further independent testing that he was eliminated as a contributor to 13-1. And when Mr. Kohberger sought to overturn the grand jury indictment, he argued that Miller, this is apparently the person who presented evidence regarding this matter at the state grand jury that returned the indictment against Mr. Kohberger, that Mr. Kohberger had argued Miller's testimony was inadmissible and misleading. The state argued that the testimony was presented to the grand jury as exculpatory, but the independent lab testing conducted by the defense related to item 13.1 is indeed exculpatory, she argues. Mr. Kohberger is excluded and the state should be precluded from misleading the jury in any way regarding this evidence. So they want it in limine, removed from any presentation to the jury this summer. A fair trial is mandated by Mr. Kohberger's federal and state constitutional rights to due process, a fair trial, effective assistance of counsel, and confrontation of witnesses. And so therefore, they argue improperly elicited expert testimony regarding this matter must be excluded. Signed by Bicca Barlow, attorney at law. If you would like to review this document, please follow the link that I have provided in this podcast episode description, and you can read it for yourself. My name's Kathy. Thank you, as always, for joining us here today.
Yeah, Becca Barlow. That's what she's there for. But I mean, it is wild. The whole thing's wild. How could there... I'd be like, how could there be DNA, whatever? And then I thought about it. Oh, you're muted, Eric. You know how there could be like a ton of DNA under your fingernails? Like if you like went out drinking or eating food or whatever, like they were saying, what was the DNA on John O'Keefe?
Oh, sorry, I'm here.
Yeah, that was like John O'Keefe had DNA on him, and that was pork DNA. And I was like, yeah, dog treat. I think it was dog treats. I think they knocked him out and threw dog treats on him. But the DNA thing under the fingernails, I would tell this story because it's kind of funny. So I told Eric yesterday, I was like trying to do a little, whatever around the house, dishes, and I broke a glass and I cut the hell out of my hand really bad. And so I've been like, I'm glued together and I still can't get that wet. So I was like, I wear a rubber glove in the shower and everything. And I got out of the shower and I was brushing my teeth and I looked in the mirror and my fingernails on the hand that had been in the rubber glove were dirty because my hand has that on the glue and the little tape thing. And the lady's like, don't get this stuff wet, right? So the nurse told me not to get it wet. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to get that wet. So I hadn't fully washed my hands in like 2 days, which is gross. Like one hand was totally clean and the other hand, so I cleaned my hand thoroughly, of course. But I thought about it afterwards. I thought about like, what of all the things you touched, if you were me and you were like, I got up this morning and I did all the things and I went out drinking and I was drunk and like, what other DNA could be under your hands? Everybody you hug is not going to be under your hands. But like, that's kind of what I thought. Like I didn't do anything. I think I took a shower. I went to sleep. I woke up. I took a shower with that glove thing on and my nails were already dirty is kind of my point. So like what was How do you get DNA in your fingernails if you're not scratching at somebody? You just naturally, generally have it under there.
What if those Kansas City guys? The one guy had his DNA on the F, and the other guy had his DNA on the C.
Yeah, that was funny. That actually made me laugh because they're like, that one
I
guy.
don't think those were Ziploc bags. They were probably little baggies.
What do you mean, Eric? Just joking. Yeah, they I don't know the guy.
You know the ones you put like jewelry in?
The title of that was Plate Full of Cocaine. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Because you guys watched, we'll go back to like an hour.
Yes,
ago.
I heard that too.
But it was fun. I'm only laughing at it because when I saw that, I'm like, what we all heard about that trial or case last year when those guys passed away. And then but nobody ever mentioned when the girlfriend broke into the house or the cops knocked on the door and Willis finally answered the door to let him in to help the men who were passed away already in his backyard. Nobody mentioned, no, Willis didn't get arrested, I guess is my point. At that time, he wasn't, they said he wasn't a suspect. He didn't get arrested. The man had a plate of cocaine in his house.
Was it like saucer? I work in a restaurant. Was it a B&B? I want to know
what do you? Yeah, how big of a plate is what
was
you're
it?
asking?
A little espresso plate?
That's not my point. That's not the point. My point is not the size of the plate, Eric.
Well, that's where we'll get you arrested. How much is on it?
Yeah, that's a good point, though. Yeah, good point. Is it like one of those little plates that you put rings on? Like, I mean, if there was a plate covered in cocaine, then he should have been arrested. And I don't know how much.
You don't need a plate anyway. 3 dead guys in your backyard. You should take you in for questioning.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
Because he tried to disappear, and we never heard anything about this other guy. The other guy, the fentanyl guy.
Yeah, because he threw him under the bus. Willis threw that guy under the bus.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
because I wrote down that that guy supposedly sold Willis the cocaine.
Oh, now let's go back because sometimes we combine stories in here. I apologize.
Yeah,
but
we're not professionals yet.
Yeah, not yet. One day. But what about the fact that when all that happened, one guy slept for 2 days, so that guy fentanyl, whatever. But when
that was C guy.
When the other guy was just reading it, he was talking about all the different other people who came forward. They're like, and this witness was at so-and-so's house. So those guys were partying all night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I buy cocaine and fentanyl for those guys.
Yeah.
You're not going to arrest me, right, if I tell you?
Yeah, right. I don't know. Yeah. I think you would need to dig, Ducky, for DNA. See, we're bouncing around, but that's okay.
On a baggie, you got to squeeze it to open it. My friend told me that.
That's a different conversation, Eric.
I'm just talking about your DNA being on it.
On the baggie.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot harder than fucking an ice sheath.
Yeah, because you'd be touching it a lot more. I think the DNA.
You'd be shaking because you're all fucked up.
And you're sweating because you're on drugs. Like those drugs, I think, make people sweat too. So you get DNA coming out that's not just actual touch DNA, right?
Is you dumping it on the plate?
Yeah, as you and your nostril is on all of the things, like all your nose DNAs.
Or when you're done with it, you rip it open.
Look, not really sure what you're talking about, but yeah, exactly. About the early 80s and 90s. Yeah, Ducky, that's Eric and I's time period.
I watched a couple movies.
I know. Have you? Yeah, I know. I'm like, what about that movie Casino? That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's one's there. I could tell you 10 movies.
And also that really good movie, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. There's some in there too. But back to those guys. I really honestly at the time was like, those guys got drugs and they thought it was one thing and it turned out to be ketamine. But that was a year ago. And I don't know if I realized how bad fentanyl was last January.
Well, it's if you're cutting the coke with how much you use.
I don't know if they were cutting it or had two different things. They had two different guys had DNA all over one and the other. Like, were they cutting them, putting them together? I don't know.
I don't know why a DD would cut his shit with that. What are you trying to kill your clients? Like, I mean, I don't even understand that whole logic.
No, I don't get it either. Oh, there you go. Lick your finger and stick it in a bag. There you go, Mr. Mandala. That is what people do.
But I also read about cops who like confiscate it and they wind up overdosing
Oh.
on the F.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't know. Yeah, because that's the. Yep. Bingo. Bingo. Happy faces. Yep.
All
Yep.
right, we went on a tangent. Where were we?
Oh, we're talking BK. Oh, right. Back to Brian Kohberger. I mean, we haven't talked about the fact that they gave us his autism diagnosis.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I kind of thought, and only because you and I have the same kind of theory of what we think happened, I
Yeah.
kind of thought if he is autistic, and he is, apparently, allegedly, he would be like easy to influence. He'd be easy to talk into doing drugs. He'd be easy to pretend to be your friend. He'd be easy for some drug dealers to talk into going over to the house and hurting somebody.
Yeah, I got a problem with that.
What is it?
He's fucking smart.
So?
I mean, like book smart. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he's like any like, cop shit. I don't think like. And why is it coming out now? Shouldn't that be
Well,
the
I
first
don't
thing that
think-
you say?
I think that you have to consider the autism spectrum, and like people are super insanely smart on that spectrum, like beyond smart, Mensa smart, way smarter than any of us.
Like 6 out of 10 people have autism, some sort of it.
Yeah, like everybody. I think they call it a spectrum because we're all kind of on it, and so then they have like an autism part of the spectrum. But I do know I know people who are like way smart, like I said, Mensa smart, who have autistic things that are visible. Like you and I would be able to tell there was some difference in their mannerisms or their the way they spoke or something.
How many are killers?
But we haven't heard Brian talk yet. We've never heard Brian talk.
He was teaching a class. You got to be able to talk,
right? But we haven't heard him. Is what I mean. We don't know what he sounds like.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but
I want to know what he sounds like. I want to know what he. But my
so now this autistic kid can pull off a thing like this? No way.
No
way.
Here's what I think. I think it goes with Jay Embry's theory. I think it go with Jay Embry's theory of Brian did this with Brett because he got talked into it because he wanted drugs, and he has if she's autistic, and he probably is maybe I don't know him. This is wild assumption that I'm making here, that maybe he was like easier to talk into, or because he had whatever deficit, maybe he had made friends weird. Like he was like, cool, yeah, drug dealers were friends. I'm friends with these people that are bad people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just don't know if you have a drug addiction while you move across the country.
Well, because he's supposed to be not addicted anymore. He was going to college.
But the first thing he's looking for is drugs. He's only been there 3 months. I don't know. I'm the Antichrist.
Yeah, I don't know if the first thing was looking for was drugs. If we go back, we could think that he moved there because he knew there'd already be drugs there.
No, because he was going to school to be a PhD.
He's going to get his doctorate, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Just I'm saying, when you have 2 people in that house whose parents are on the spectrum of bad things, I'll leave it at that. So, and
alleged spectrum of bad things.
And then you go into their records, and they're getting out of prison really quick for doing bad things.
Super high functioning.
So
yeah,
I'm going to go with that theory.
I mean, you guys, well, this is the problem. The 2 people on panel, Eric and I both think that Jay Embry's theory is solid, but we still got to deal with whatever in case. And then the other thing was that one of the videos I saw today, and it was way too long to watch on here, was that the paperwork that Anne's introduces the possibility of other people being there. Or is that the paperwork from Bicca Barlow? One of them has paperwork that said that. Let me find it. No, that was the DNA from Bicca Barlow. No, it was Anne in some of that paperwork that was released today, the way it's written. I don't know which document it is. Let's pull it up. One of the documents, probably the 30-page one that I didn't get to read, basically is written out to where it makes it sound like there is more than one person there.
Yeah, I heard that.
And I mean, that's what we've been thinking the whole time, right? Vehicle number one.
No, yeah, I don't think the autistic kid did it.
I don't know. Happy thinks that too. We all think Ducky's is very high functioning if he is autistic.
A Navy SEAL would have a problem doing it that quick.
He would?
I think so. Without a pew pew?
No pew pew?
Without a pew pew, he can't do it that quick. One of the victims hit 56 times.
Anger. That's rage right there, huh? That's like pure rage.
Was that fighting back, and you just gotta? That's where the rage comes from.
Yeah, Unabomber did have a PhD, and he's an odd cat for sure. Very odd cat.
Yeah, he didn't stick around for 20 minutes either.
He didn't. Well, he didn't have a vacuum with him. He wasn't carrying a vacuum. What do you guys think the vacuum was? I think the vacuum was a sling bag with his clothes in it, with his like switch out kill kit, whatever.
And this is why Steve knows a lot more than us, and this is why he talks the way he talks. He knew this stuff 2 years ago.
All this stuff you think he knew everything before it was redacted?
Yeah, I think he probably talked to Dylan and Bethany.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
You know, I think Steve heard about this at 10 o'clock in the morning and shot there and was in the house before the police.
Was he in the house before the police?
I that's my theory.
You think he saw them dead in that house and didn't call 911?
If he found out at 10 o'clock in the morning,
that's against the law. You know, if he was.
I'm saying he got there. It's like he got there at 12:30 after the cops were called.
Oh.
I think Coeur d'Alene is 2 hours away, 120 miles. I thought when I looked it up.
Oh, so you're saying he got the call at 10 something, and then Coeur d'Alene's a couple hours away.
That's what I would do.
Well, hell yeah, you would do that. Why wouldn't? I mean, it's your kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. He did know, but I mean, he didn't release it. One person, 17 minutes, unaliving so viciously 4 people. Yeah, I am. One person. Yeah, that's the thing, Ducky. I'm with you there. That's why I still think that there's at least one more person involved. But they're only seeing one person in the house. What about the person running naked? Can we get back to that? Anybody talk about that? Did anybody hear about that?
I don't know. I don't think Bethany texted that to Dylan.
No, but you know what I'm talking about? We talked about it.
Yeah. Bethany's supposedly seen that.
Yeah, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. That was not brought up again in this. That's not in this. And their messages like, did you see that person run naked out of our house?
It could be redacted.
Yeah, totally unreleased rage, 56 stab wounds. Yeah, that's insane. That was Maddie, huh?
No, Kaylee.
Oh, Kaylee. Yeah, the girls upstairs. Yeah. I mean, that's why everybody was like, it's whatever. But, you know, what's Kaylee's no, because Kaylee's a Gonzalez, right? That's Steve G's daughter.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you like say she's fighting back and not, you know, he's like, God, I don't know.
No, I know. I was just kind of thinking of that other side of what we were talking about, like if it was because their parents were involved in that other business.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think Steve was. But.
No, I know he was. That's what I'm saying. Like if she was the one with the most stab wounds, she's the one with the least parent involved in the whole thing.
And that's why I think Steve knows. 'Cause he knows who's in that house, but I think he went that way with his investigation. with his lawyer. Like I think that's the first way he went. Like, why did this happen? Oh wow, because he probably knows Maddie's dad because he takes care of Maddie because her dad can't.
Right.
So and then I don't know. He probably found out about Xana's mom pretty quick.
What about Maddie's dad's interview, Ben?
What about Maddie's stepmother too?
Yeah, her too. We didn't see any interviews with her, but that
his
interview with
interview
her dad,
was like, yeah,
Ben Mogan.
it was
It was
awful,
hard.
but
Yeah,
but
it was hard to watch.
So his record is awful too.
It was so hard to watch, but it's that thing like where you're like, you don't want to blame parents. We don't want to blame parents. We're not finger pointing at parents, of course.
It's all
But
speculation.
everything's speculation, even though they're in court. Yeah, it was so sad. Happy faces. I can't. I see. Remember when we watched it, and I was like, I can't watch it again. When we watched the Ben Mogan interview, I was like, we're gonna do it again. Okay, I can't do it.
That don't mean anything though. That it's sad. Yeah, the whole story is sad.
Yeah, the whole story's sad, but it's sad to see the experience of what the parents are going through. Like I looked it up. Moscow is super, super poor. Like I think the like median income was like 40 or 30 something $1,000, 30 something grand. It might have been less than that. It was like
what's the cost of living now?
It's really low too, but it's like the poverty level was above 30%. It was in the top, it was in the top 10 of like the highest poverty rates in Idaho. But that's because it's college kids.
Yeah, because they fund the schools only till like September to May.
Yeah, and so you got that weird like group of kids, and I'm sure there's a good deal of them not working at all or working jobs where they're like, like waiting tables and not claiming all their taxes, that sort of stuff. So like maybe that makes a difference, but it is, again, it's a very, very small town. And it's just a poor area. And what surprised me was that Sandpoint was actually one of the number one places, which is right there also, and where their families are from also. Some of their families live in that area too.
What about Boise? Is there money in Boise?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but there's
more money. I gotcha.
There's like 500,000 more people.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we have Micron here. We have we build semiconductors.
All right.
I mean, there's good money in semiconductors in Boise. Apparently, I'm sure it throws everybody else off, but there's definitely money. More than Moscow. Like if you drove through neighborhoods, there's not going to be neighborhoods with like new $500,000 to $1 million houses up there. Yeah,
I got you. Like my town is like every kind of like money level. Like you have like poverty, and then you got wealthy, you got middle class, you got semi-middle class.
Yeah, I think if we were
all goes towards the water.
But I think that but I think that's the difference up there is that they got 20,000 some odd people living in the town, maybe 30 at the most when school's going on, and there's other people not working, they're going to school and all the stuff's going on. I think it throws it all off the median income. And I know, like, what about that house that Green owns? That's a $1 million home.
Oh yeah, I seen some nice houses.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like anywhere around there. Look, and then farther north you go, Coeur d'Alene. I'd say Coeur d'Alene.
Those frat houses have 10 bedrooms. Well,
the what?
Sorority houses and frat houses have 10 bedrooms.
At least.
That's a big house.
Yeah, those houses are huge, but they're super old. But they're
but I'm just saying they're
massive.
Still worth money.
Yeah, in a different sort of money, right? Because that's a different income. The money
more money than a regular house because she ain't renting it.
Yeah, and each person's paying dues.
Yeah.
Like separate. Yeah, there's like definitely a different income thing going on with this.
It's probably a $3,000 mortgage, and they're bringing in 25.
Maybe more.
I'm saying, I'm just like just type of
Yeah.
Spitball it.
Yeah, those houses have been around. All those frat houses were there. Same ones when I went to school here, when I was going to college. So that was like the mid 90s. So they're at least that old, and they were old when I was there. So they're old. You know what I mean?
That's what they do in the city out here, but they call them slumlords.
Yeah. Those Those are probably not. Yeah, those houses aren't super nice inside. When you talk about 6 bedrooms, one bedroom have like bunk beds with like 6 people in it.
Yeah. I mean, I seen one of them. It had like 30 beds in it. Like
Yeah.
they were showing.
Yeah, they have sleeping porches where like the top floor will be all open. It'll just be beds, and like everybody sleeps on that floor. Who's like the freshman or underclassmen, maybe? It's very weird.
And they put them right at the edge of the, you know, like where it's not college property.
I don't know if that's college properties, Mr. Mandala. Mr. Mandala, are the schools? Most of frat houses have lots of rooms, but they can't be slept in. They have sleeping porches on the top levels with open windows. That's what it is. They don't sleep in the big rooms. Like I've been in a couple houses up there where you walk in the front door and I went in one house up there and you walked in the front door and it was a ballroom.
All right.
So these houses aren't just kind of big. They're like 4,000 square feet houses, some of them. And they have like a huge kitchen, and then they'll have like somebody who's a cook, like the house cook, who cooks for everybody in the house. It's not normally, sometimes they hire somebody.
Frat kids are hiring people?
I bet this fraternity is probably hiring them with their dues. But they, they have like a house mother, they call it sometimes.
I heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do stuff, and I don't know if that's through the fraternity. I don't know how. I mean, you probably don't do that to be nice. You probably don't go and clean up after a bunch of 18-year-old boys just to be fun, just to be nice.
Go clean up, throw up, and whatever.
Is it touristy in summer? Not Moscow. I wouldn't call it touristy for anything ever, unless there was maybe like a college sporting event that was going on in the summer, and I don't know what that would be. What goes through the summer?
Nah, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. So
like football starts in like probably there. It starts in like end of July.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd probably start like. Yeah, they got
Wazoo. There are some big football colleges over there.
Yeah, but it's like
Boise. Yeah, they would definitely start at the end of July, maybe even the beginning of July, because they're big programs.
See, and Mr. Mandala went to school there, so he knows. He says that they don't do the chore. The frat boys don't cook; they hire someone for sure. And we don't have chore, but we had chores and clean the dishes, and we did plan meals. We didn't plan meals. I mean, they didn't plan their own meals. So that's how those houses are set up.
I got you.
They don't. They clean themselves. I mean, the house themselves, but
same thing with the girls, probably.
Yeah. I think the ladies do the same thing. Down in Boise here, we don't have a Greek system. We've got 2 or 3, Greeks on campus. There's not. It's nothing compared to there.
I went to college in Pennsylvania, right? York, Pennsylvania, right out of high school. Well, that was a frat college, but I didn't last long there. I went there to wrestle, and then I was out of there pretty quick.
Well,
LV.
Well, I was going to say LVU is frat school.
What, Las Vegas?
Yeah, UNLV.
Yeah, but I wasn't into that. I was like 25 when I went there, and I met a few people, and I wasn't into any of that.
Yeah. It's a little bit. That's funny because it's just past that period of wanting to do that.
I wouldn't have done that anyway. I was born in Vegas. Nah.
What were you doing in Vegas?
I worked for Fridays, and I went there. I got a job at Fridays, and I met a few people there, and I got a place, and I was casino management, but that's bullshit, major.
Why?
No, because when I asked about it, like, someone's got to quit. Someone's got to quit. 20 years you don't get that job for. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Mr. Mandala, do they hike? Do people go hiking there? I know that's a huge trail. The where Brian said he was going. The Wallawa Park. I'm saying that wrong. Wallawa? No, that's the Wallawa. It's not Wallawa Park. It's what is it called?
I thought it was something
Wawawe Park or whatever. I don't know if that's I don't know if it's flat. I don't know if I consider you could definitely go hiking around there. Lots of arbor. Oh yeah, there's the arboretums and the park, and lots of parks to hike in. And there's a skiing resort. There's skiing by there too, right? I never lived up there. Mr. Mandala knows.
I tell you, I like London better than Vegas.
Well, I like Ely better than Vegas. I'll take any of the tiny towns in Nevada over Vegas. To be honest, it's getting gross. But
London
you were there.
was cool. The city was, it's like living in a little New York City. It was good.
Yeah, when you were there in the 90s, it wasn't as bad. I think it's gotten worse. It's not as enjoyable for myself. Maybe it's because I got old. Maybe it's the same. And I just got old.
Yeah, I haven't been back, so I can't tell you.
Yeah. Oh, huh? You should go.
And I was in a perfect spot. Di was right next to where I lived, and I lived it was like, what's the Rodeo Drive of London where I lived.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't pay for it because I was on an intern.
Yeah, that was cool. That had to have been really cool.
Yeah, I had to work the graveyard shift, though, most of the time I was there.
We worked the graveyard shift here.
No, I mean, like the Ashley shift.
Oh, the shift. I'm so glad she's not going to work that shift. We're figuring it out. She'll figure it out. Ooh, that
No,
shift.
it was all right. I didn't mind it. But it was to do stuff, it was hard.
No, yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like this days when you don't work and your day's all thrown off. I had a friend who did that for the post office.
Yeah.
And she sorted mail in the middle of the night. And she put in at her house, she put in all these extra blinds and all this stuff, had to do all this stuff because she just couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to travel and do shit. And I was like, no, I can't. We went off on another tangent, I think.
Yeah, we did. I think we were talking about Kohberger though. And I think that all the stuff that's coming out that's not redacted is the most wild because we speculated for so long.
Oh, yeah.
We speculated all of this stuff to death. And now it's finally out.
You know what I don't get? Why did it come out now? What? Are they this is a movie? Why let's give them a little of this? Why?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think it's because because of all the motions. So it must have been one of the motions must have been to unredact or to release redacted paperwork.
Yeah, I think somebody put that up that they were everything is fair game now or something.
Yeah, it had to have been one of the motions to open all that stuff up because Hitler wouldn't just open it up. Yeah, I mean, they had to have asked to do it. But I mean, we're glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it and not have to wait till August. I mean, but it just is going to lead to so much more speculation across the board for all of the true crime community. Of well, what's this mean? And I love it. I'm into it.
And these poor two girls.
Oh man, the fact that they are going to take the stand.
I just mean this is pretty much had a normal life till today, and I mean not normal, but
well,
they'll be all over the.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I'd be that's an interesting point. I wonder because I'm under the impression that Dylan lives here someplace. Am I wrong?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
So I said that a long time ago about Idaho, is that there's a weird thing about the state because there's so few people here, but our state's so big.
Yeah.
We have a really low population for how big this state is. And so there's the whole state's 3 degrees of separation from each other. When the whole thing went down, right? I'm oh yeah, I know that guy's aunt.
Oh yeah. You said that, yep.
Right, yeah. I'm well, I know the one guy's aunt. And then so that was kind of what got me even more interested. And then when you break it down to that sort of thing, I mean,
I wonder his life's got to be a little messed up.
Well, he's got arrested since then too.
Yeah, I'm saying, but
he didn't go back to school. That was, I mean, that's so sad to me that people were pulled in from other whatever that don't have anything to do with it. At the same time, whose DNA was on that the car handrail whose
Yeah,
DNA is under her fingernails. You
that
know what I
dude
mean?
was
Like,
right next to them. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, should she have been like, let's say you're drunk and you're like leaning on that guy and you reach out and you grab at him or grab it or something, or you like run your hand through his hair, joking around, or touch his face. Is that going to be DNA on you?
yeah. I mean, no, because they didn't put it out there.
No, but that not that specific person, but they say 3 people's DNA and none of them are Kohberger. So like, what's she doing at the grub truck? Do we watch her talking to somebody? Is anybody like, is her hand on anybody? Is there any movement that we're seeing? Because we have video of her in the grub truck. Don't they have video of her in that
Yeah, people are hugging them and everything.
and in the bar before they leave?
Yeah, the bar, they had to hug a few people. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, like normal procedure.
Yeah, they're drunk 20-year-old people. Like they're all hugging each other. So everybody's hugging and you're drunk and you're like, that girl, and she's drunk when they're walking down the street, right?
Oh, yeah, she's scolded. Yeah.
Right. So like she could have been like arm around somebody, some hand on a shoulder, just leaning, just all the weird things you do when you're intoxicated.
She could have hung out with her boyfriend the night before. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
She had a boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like all that stuff is, hey, it could be anything, but it sure seems like if there's 3 other DNAs under her nails, we'd like to know who all 3 of those are and what their alibis are.
But they don't know. That's my, like.
It doesn't sound like they know.
I mean, did they go looking for more people? Like, I don't even know how that works.
Yeah, the banister.
Yeah, the banister. It's 2 DNAs on a banister. Like, now we got 5 DNAs.
Feeble wobble. Yeah, Ducky. They were like all over, like totally.
And we got the knife sheath too. 6
Yeah.
DNAs.
Yeah. And the
Well, I
knife
watched
sheath.
something today, like where they said they were trying to make Brian's DNA be under her nails, and like I don't know, they made like they had a hit, but I don't know. Jay Embry said it was like the Kabbalah debunked it.
Vicka Barlow's gonna be awesome. She's gonna be like, because you know what, I like Ann Taylor, but she's there's something going on in the courtroom. I don't know if it's Hippler or it's her nerves or whatever, but she doesn't seem as strong as I thought she was going to be at this point. And
Remember, I've been saying, aren't they going to have a DNA expert? The defense, like, can they not afford it? How many times did I say that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Now they have it.
Yep. And they bring it in pro bono, probably, is my guess.
Yeah, they, like she's like, enough is enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point because
these guys, they don't know nothing about what I do, and they're ruining my career. Like, I got to tell them the truth, like how this works.
Yeah. Yeah. Make it actually like give the actual answers. But so what she'll do is what Anne's doing too. She's going to bring in stuff to, to bring in reasonable doubt.
During the Wade Wilson case, they had like, I don't know, he had like clothes where he tied up in, and then they had the DNA expert. Every piece of clothing, every knot, she stuck to him and the victim. Like, it was like so perfect, and it like everything was there. Was it touch DNA? Bang, this is his, this is hers. Bang, this is his, this is hers,
Yeah, that's right too, Ducky. That's the judge was like somebody she's been in court with. I think that's got to be difficult to be in Idaho again. There's only so many. What was it? There was only so many attorneys it was like a single digit number that are death penalty qualified.
Yeah, I think it's like 2.
Yeah, yeah, and so she's from here, from Idaho. We know that she owns a house in Moscow. So like, I think my guess is that she graduated from school there. She probably got at least part of her law degree from there.
Win lose, she probably retires.
Yeah, or not. I bet didn't she get isn't she up for a better position after this case?
Yes, she can still retire.
Yeah. Much better
Go write a book.
Or write a book.
Netflix,
Yeah,
Netflix needs Ann Taylor.
Did you guys read that book, the book that the guy wrote, the fake book? Eric bought it and we were talking about reading it. We were going to read it.
I read some of it.
We were going to read it out loud for you guys. We were like, let's
We
Let's
could
read
still
it
do
out
that.
loud.
We could still do that. Not
Yeah,
today.
we could still do it if you want to, Ducky, because we could record it even. We could record it in StreamYard and then we could get in chat and like chat with you guys, like TV commentary.
Yeah, we got to do more reactions. Yeah, that's my strong point.
Yeah, we do. We love reactions. We're pretty good at the reactions, but we didn't. This thing today is like all the videos are too long. Too long.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I think it's about it, right?
Oh yeah, that's all probably. I'm sorry. Now I'm just talking. Ducky, all our mods, Mr.
Get to, you're the
Mandela.
best.
Jared,
Happy Kay, you guys are awesome.
we love it. Thank
We
you for
love it.
coming.
Thank you for
talking
your
to that.
support. Thank you for the work you do on the inside, giving us stuff to talk about.
Oh, Diddy. Thank you.
What do you
Thank
mean,
you.
Diddy?
There was Diddy is done. Today's charges for Diddy, he's done.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Eric didn't get to see it yet. Yeah, Ducky. Yeah. Diddy is this the new charges today were bigger. What was it? Forced labor? Is it forced labor? I mean, this is like the bigger. All the RICO stuff comes out. It always trickles, right?
No, I heard the names came out today.
What?
I heard that too. Yeah, I seen that on something.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
Dang it. We're going to have to come back to you
Well,
guys.
it was like a weird thing when I seen it on, but I'm going to look at it later. All right, so our next show, we're going to do Gene Hackman.
Yeah, well, we're going to dip into that because it's weird and there's no weird. I have so many questions that I haven't.
Whatever happened with Karen Reed tomorrow.
And
anybody want us to do something?
Yeah, we got Diddy. Human trafficking, new charges, human trafficking. That's what it was, but it was like it was human trafficking and I believe forced labor of of like the humans. So that's a whole nother like.
Happy, anything you want us to do?
Your New York case, Eric. What about
it's like there's nothing really going on there. It's like.
But there was a change yesterday. What was the change?
I didn't
9
see it.
or 12? No, you said there's
9.
No,
13. No, 13 now.
There's 13 now. There's 13 people on Eric's case of the 13-year-old girl who got kidnapped-ish. Maybe.
Oh, the New York case? Luigi, Happy?
Oh.
Luigi's in the news now, too. Or my case.
Well, Mr. Mandela and I saw a video that was something about Luigi and porn videos. Is that real? Tell us.
What do you tell me?
Chat, are there nudie videos of Luigi?
Oh, I didn't see that.
That is what I heard. That is what I saw. That is what I think Tissa Tells, I think is that channel that I like to watch. I think that's the name of her channel. I probably don't want to say it if I don't remember. But it's
well, his lawyer, she's got a whole plan. She's got him like he's being exposed by feds, and he gets terrible treatment in Brooklyn, and they get terrible treatment. I watched the thing on that today, but that's her whole plan, I think.
20. He's got over 20 tapes.
Who did he?
Luigi.
Oh yeah.
That's
I ain't even gonna get into that.
Here, we're like, oh.
But next time we will.
We will. Yeah, we'll definitely get into it because that just came with you guys. That was so much. Karen, Turtle Boy, BK, all this paperwork.
That shit they dumped on us today, yeah.
The last few days and we missed a few days because I went on vacation. You're welcome. I had to go out of town and it was beautiful. Let's get back to you guys in a few days then. And
thank you for your support. Thank you, everyone. We love you all.
We do love you guys. You have a great night, okay? Bye.
Bye-bye. Love ya.